Prior to the pandemic, roughly 1 in 15 physicians had thought of taking their own life in the last 12 months. Unfortunately, stigma remains a major barrier to physicians experiencing suicidal thoughts seeking help. I'm Tate Schenefeld, Chief Wellness Officer and Associate Dean at Stanford. Today, I want to share with you some of the findings in our article, Suicidal Ideation and Attitudes Regarding Help Seeking in U.S. Physicians Relative to the U.S. Working Population. This article will appear in the August 2021 issue of Mayo Clinic Proceedings. As noted, in 2017, 6.5% of U.S. physicians reported they had thoughts of taking their own life in the last 12 months. Suicidal thoughts were more common in physicians relative to workers in other fields, a finding that persisted on analysis adjusting for other personal and professional characteristics. Among physicians, both personal and professional factors were associated with suicidal thoughts. In particular, the 3 months after a physician perceives they have made a medical error is a time of increased risk. Although roughly 3/4 of physicians indicate they would seek help if they experience serious emotional problems, physicians with suicidal thoughts were less likely to report they would do so. About 1/3 of physicians with suicidal thoughts indicated they would not seek help. Notably, self-valuation or self-compassion, a trait that we have recently found in another study reported in Mayo Clinic Proceedings, is lower in physicians relative to the U.S. working population, was strongly related to suicidal ideation and whether or not physicians would seek help. This suggests that in addition to reducing stigma broadly, efforts to help address this harsh self-criticism that physicians often experience may be an important place for us to intervene. The relatively common prevalence of suicidal ideation in physicians suggests that organizations should also create psychologically safe and low barrier to access support resources for physicians in distress. In addition, awareness that the 3 months after a major medical error occurs is a time of peak risk may allow organizations to incorporate support for physicians going through root cause analyses or other organizational evaluations to reduce medical errors to receive support during a time of increased risk. So our key takeaways is that suicidal thoughts are a common problem in physicians even prior to the pandemic. Personal and professional factors appear to contribute to the risk of suicidal thoughts. Stigma remains a major barrier to physicians experiencing distress seeking help, and new efforts are needed to reduce barriers to help seeking, to create a normalization of seeking help when emotional distress is experienced by physicians, and efforts to cultivate self-compassion will be important as we try to minimize suicidal thoughts in physicians, as well as to provide support and help for those who experience such thoughts. I'd invite you to read the article for additional details on this important topic, as we all have an important role to provide support to our colleagues and work on reducing both distress and providing support for those in distress in our profession.
We hope you found this presentation from the content of our website valuable. Our journal's mission is to promote the best interests of patients by advancing the knowledge and professionalism of the physician community. If you are interested in more information about us, our homepage is www.mayoclinicproceedings.org. There you'll find access to information for our social media content, such as additional videos on our YouTube channel or journal updates on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter. More information about healthcare at Mayo Clinic is available at www.mayoclinic.org. This video content is copyrighted by Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research.